What's going on, everybody? So it's been uh, about 1 year since I've been driving for Grubhub, and it was a pretty interesting time. Met a lot of people, uh, didn't meet any friends, nobody that I actually hang out with, but uh, overall, it was a pretty good experience. Now, uh, I've decided that I'm going to move on to something else. What that something else is, I'm not really sure yet, but I do know that I am definitely not working for Grubhub anymore. Uh, I woke up on Monday morning to an email from them saying that a customer accused me of stealing a gift card, which I never did because I never had a delivery on that day. I wasn't scheduled that day. So uh, maybe there's a reason why uh, they wanted to uh, terminate my contract. Uh, Whatever it is, I'll never know because I have not had any correspondence with them since that day. They paid me the rest of my money, which wasn't really that much. However, they did take some money out. So obviously, the customer who complained, uh, they took the money out of my earnings and gave it back to the customer. It wasn't that much. It was like $17. So I really don't care. If they ever email me again and say, we'll let you work for us again, I might do it depending on what I feel would be uh, good for me in like the long run, uh, longevity wise. But actually, believe it or not, Grubhub wasn't that bad, and I never worked more than 35 hours a week, and I was still making the same amount of money as if I would have worked 55 hours at my previous job before that, which I couldn't stand, which is why I quit. uh, you know I I thought it was a good chance for me to figure out what I actually really wanted to do, and it would give me some breathing room to pursue that, and it did. I was able to go to New York uh, and stay there for about 5 days, and uh, you know, I didn't have to ask for time off. I didn't have to save up my money because I already have money saved for something like that if it ever came up again, which it probably will. And so now I'm going to do something else, um, but I'll save that for another video. However, I will not be going back to a regular job, a 9 to 5, working in, under, strict conditions, working under anybody who I don't even know, that I'm just going to take a job. I mean, I'm taking a risk. It's a risk that I don't want to take right now. I'm happy where I'm at. I think that I've done quite well for myself ever since I've been my own boss. I haven't had sort of problems, whether it be financial, whether it be social, um, whether it be any other type of problem like that. Uh, I feel so much better. I'm back to working out a lot and trying to get into better shape. Uh, I my body's able to recover a lot quicker. Uh, my mind is not thinking about things that really aren't important. I felt that for the first 6 months of quitting Grubhub, that I was deprogramming myself, because there would be times where I would hear like a certain type of phone ring in my head, even though there was no phone going off, or I would hear a bell, or I would hear some type of machine malfunctioning, and there was nothing there. It was just some residual imaginations left over from being programmed, working for a job that doesn't care if you die on the spot. They'll just replace you the next day. That's one thing that really made me want to quit working at a regular job. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was making close to $67,000 a year at one point with just that job alone, not including all the other things that I was doing, which pushed it a lot higher than that. And I did that without any sort of, well, I didn't have an education in that field, and it was all hands-on for me. So I moved past that onto working for myself, being an independent contractor for Grubhub, working from November of 2018 until May of 2020. So it was a good run. I still have other options like that available to me, which I definitely will take up those opportunities to make the extra money, because I've been in my house for the past like 4 days, and I've really actually done nothing except work out a little bit, doing everything else that everyone under quarantine is doing right now that can't work. Spending a lot of time with my dog, and doing all types of things that, I never got to do when I was working anywhere between 10 and 12 hours, 6 days a week. I never got to experience anything like this. I don't know what it's like to be at home. I don't know what it's like to, wake up and not have to worry about being late for work. It's only been a year, exactly. It's actually exactly been 1 year since I quit my full-time job that I had, because I quit on May 1st, I believe, of last year. I actually was off on medical leave for a whole month, and then I told them I wasn't coming back. But essentially, I never went back to work after May 1st. So it's been a year, and I'm doing fine. My phone stopped ringing after the first 4 or 5 months of people calling me, asking me if I was going to get a job. And I guess, since I never called them for money, I guess I'm doing okay. I went to go and visit some of my family that I haven't seen in a very long time. I've taken some brief road trips here and there, going to places that I've never been to. And, it's not a weekend thing for me. It's a any day thing for me. I believe I went out on a Tuesday, and I drove far. Like, I drove almost 8 hours. Went to a place just to visit it. Never been there before. And it was amazing. And it was a Tuesday, and I drove back. It was a long day, but I still got to do something that I wanted to do, that I've always wanted to do. And it's just another thing that I scratched off my list, and I didn't have to wait until the weekend. I didn't have to cram everything in that I normally do throughout the week. Didn't have to cram it all in on the weekend just so I have to wake up and, punch a stupid clock. So, it was a lot of fun. I plan to do a lot more than that. And if you guys have been watching my videos and trying to figure out what exactly do you want to do instead of, what you're doing right now, if you're not happy with it, if you need some sort of validation. I am not that type of person. I don't need validation from another person, and I don't need to validate myself to other people on what I want to do with my life and what direction I want to take it. Yes, I do take some people's opinions and feelings into consideration, but inevitably it's up to me. I'm the man, and I have control over that, and I make sure that people know that, and I don't let other people influence me on how to make a decision or try and do things to manipulate me, to coerce my decisions, to realign my positions. I don't realign my thoughts. I do take other people's opinions into consideration, though. Some great friends of mine, very few, but I do, and my family, of course, some people in my family, not everybody, because if you're Puerto Rican, you have a ton of haters, and that's just how it is. I mean, especially when you have a family as big as mine. I'm not saying that they're hating on me. I'm just saying that they might be doing it and I don't know about it. And but I really don't care, because I do whatever I want now. I don't have to. I don't live my life in fear of security anymore, like I did when I was working for a paycheck. I see people now, after it's been all this time, and that's all they talk about is their job. They just beat you over the head with all the things that they do at work and how important they are, and the company can't function without them. But I already know different. So, I mean, to me, it's just, you're preaching to the choir on that. It doesn't really matter, to me, at least. So, I think that I will be successful in my endeavors of going out into the world and knowing that if I do fall down, I will get back up again, for sure. It might take me a little bit, but I'm still going to get back up. Like, nothing's going to hold me down from doing what I want to do, being who I want to be, and going where I want to go. That's just not going to happen. I've taken care of everything ahead of time. So that way, if there's any bumps in the road, any wrinkles in my plan, I know that I myself have made it secure for me to move forward, even though for some certain reasons, maybe financially it might not be the same for me, but I know that moving forward, that my expenses and things that are my necessities are taken care of. So as long as I have my necessities, I'm able to move forward, instead of having to rely on that safety and security of a paycheck and having to waste all your time at a stupid job. So, it's been a good run for Grubhub. I'm not going to trash it. I'm not going to bash it, because it has supplied me with tons of money. I worked and I did as much as I could in the time that I allowed myself to be out on the road. Just put it this way, in a year's time, I've put over 50,000 miles on my car, and I've done over 6,000 deliveries. Believe it or not, it's been that many, because I've worked 7 days in a row for the past, I want to say a good 9 to 10 months. I've worked 7 days in a row, nonstop. I mean, I've taken off, some holidays, of course, but everybody does. And it was only 1 day, maybe 2 days. But over that whole course, I have worked literally nonstop every single day. And it paid off. So now that I'm finished with Grubhub, I'm just going to move on to something else. And I will update you in the next video on what I'm going to do. So you guys be safe, be awesome, stay out of this coronavirus junk. Take care of yourselves, use a mask, use all types of protective equipment, because you never know. I use it, other people use it, so I'm not worried about it. You guys have a good life, and be safe, take care of yourselves, and be awesome.